To the person who created e-skating, thank you. Because you created an amazing thing. You created e-skaters. Hi, my name's Laz, or what the channel name says, Captain Skates. I made that up, top of my head. I love it so much. I'm an e-skater, and I love e-skating so much. It's been like the perfect way for me to unwind on my free time. And it's just, to me personally, I think it's just better than skating because you get to see so many cool places. That was a bad bump. You get to see places without like the hassle of skating. Maybe some people enjoy that hassle, but me personally, I prefer just the ride itself. I'll try to find the right angle. Now I'm just gonna cover the sun. And so I just wanted to talk about my experience with e-skating, maybe a couple of tips for anyone that's new to e-skating. And yeah, so let me cut to me at the river real quick. Hello, me at the lake. I'm finally, or not the lake, the river. I'm here. So got this. I mean, it looks kind of dead, but it's because it's summer. It's over here in California. The weather is horrible. So I'm at my river. I'm gonna quickly set up my tripod and I'm gonna talk about a couple things. All right, so I'm here at my lake. So I'm gonna be talking about my experience with e-skating, maybe give you little tips on how to e-skate properly, at least from my view. So I first started e-skating, I think back around maybe 2 years ago at this point. I found out because I was walking with my parents, I think by the flea market once, and we saw this one guy like zoom past us, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And I saw this like weird black thing on it. So I went on Google and I put in like skateboard with black cover on the bottom. And then that's when I discovered what e-skating was. Honorable mention, I think his name's Daniel Kwan, D Kwan. He is awesome. His reviews are amazing. I would non-stop just watch his reviews every day. Like no joke, not even kidding. I would not stop begging my dad for an e-skate. So then I think by February of last year, we got a Voyager. Maybe I'll put up like a photo of it up here. But that was my first e-skate. I got it hand down from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. He gave it to me and told me that it was a little broken, but it still worked. I mean, the charger was like about to fall apart in half, and the case was kind of coming off the bottom of the skateboard. But either way, I love that thing so much. And I remember specifically that it was a hub board. It was where they have the motor in the wheel. Those are usually like quieter, but that's if you want to be like a quiet person or not. But my first experience with that board was wonderful. It was one of those old hobby wing remotes where it had all the lights. Oh, I should probably turn off the board for a sec. Hold on. I don't want to drain the battery. And so I would ride that thing, but God, the battery sucked. The pathetic little battery in it could only take me to the park and back. And my park is only like half a mile down the road. So the range was absolutely horrendous on that thing. But for a first time, that was like, I would ride that non-stop every day. But I didn't know it at the time. And here's where I'll mention a couple, like the first two tips. You need to lean forward when you accelerate on these things, because when you don't, it's like the board is just, it flies forward under your feet and then you go back and then you get hurt. That happened to me once. I fell on my butt the first time. And even though it was one of those little boards, those things still have some power, dude. So I fell on my butt the first time. And then when you brake, and this is how I recently got hurt, I braked too hard. You have to lean back when you brake because then the board still is gonna, I think, pull you back. I forgot how it feels specifically. But if you brake too hard, you go flying forward. And that's what happened to me recently. I don't have any recent like injuries. This is from like a takeover. But I scraped my palms really bad one time from that, and they were like bleeding and everything, and I could barely hold the remote. My fingers were shaking. And that's another thing. I don't have a helmet on just right now because I was cruising at like 5 miles per hour, but wear a helmet, please. Like, oh my God, it is so important. People just don't understand it, and they think that it makes you look like lame. It doesn't. It saves your life. I recently, I saw someone that apparently crashed into like a car, or like I forgot what, but they crashed only going 8 miles per hour, and they like shattered their jaw. No, it was either the jaw or it was like a bone in the head. But either way, you need to wear a helmet. It saves your life. God, that's so freaking important. And so, going back to the skating, once I watched a couple of videos from, I think, Daniel Kwan and someone other guy. I'll probably put it like his name right here. I watched a couple of like beginner tips and that's when things really got like bad. That isn't like I really wanted another skateboard. So then I started watching even more reviews, and that's when I discovered this baby, my beautiful Wago 3X, which I watched videos on that nonstop because my birthday was actually already passed when I was like getting more obsessed with these things, and I had around I think $300. So I was watching videos on like budget boards because I could now like actually afford my own board. And so I think around August or July I got my Wago 3X. This thing rocks so much. So I went from going a hub motor. Hub motors are typically weaker, but they're quieter. That's your trade-off for them. And they also make the board feel more stiff. But with the Wago 3X, I got dual motors on both wheels. And I got a belt-driven board, which usually has more power and quicker acceleration, but you have the cost of having to replace the belts. And so I've been using my Wago 3X for, I guess, like since August of last year. This thing is amazing. I love it so much. The flexi deck makes it comfortable. Look, I'm sitting on it. I'm bouncing. It probably looks a little inappropriate, but it's whatever. And I've used this thing to come home sometimes from school, because sometimes my parents can't pick me up on Wednesdays, but I'd have to wait at school for like an hour. So I would just take this thing on a Wednesday, ride home. I'd be home in like 15, 20 minutes. I live like 5 miles from my school. And I do this for a couple of Wednesdays. I did it because I just needed to come home quicker, and it would save my parents gas. I think I've done it over 20 weeks, and it's like 5 miles per trip. Doing the math, that's like $20, $30 saved on gas. So hoping they appreciate that a little bit. Battery degradation is starting to get to me. I can't go below like 2.5. I can't go below 2 bars now without going too fast, or else then the board just shuts down completely. That's one of the downsides to electric skating. Over the years, or over time, battery degradation will get to your battery and you won't be able to do certain things, which I'm a little sad about, yes. But I can still use this thing pretty nicely when it's at 100. And that's another tip when doing an electric skateboard. You really got to maintain these things. You can't always have them at 100%. If you're gonna store it, keep it at 80, so like about 1 bar. If it's like a 5 bar like battery displacement, keep it below 5, like 4 is pretty good. And they always advertise the range with like their eco modes, but no one ever uses eco mode. Like, I mean, I was just now, but most people don't really use eco mode on these things. So like, why in the world would you? It's whatever. They just use it so they can catch your attention. So I forgot when, but it was with this board, the Wago 3X. Drivers don't really respect you on e-skates that much, unlike other people. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm in the road. I know I'm not really supposed to be in there, but at the same time, you really shouldn't be on the sidewalk. There are bike lanes, but not every road has bike lanes, so it's like, what do I do? So I was signaling like I was gonna take a right turn, and I think I was doing it wrong. I think this means to pass on my right, which I think it is. But also, I did it one time like this, straight out, telling people I was gonna go right, and they took that as a sign as I gotta floor the gas to cut this man off because I need to go where I need to go like 5 seconds faster. And then, like, literally, I'm not even kidding, or whooshed right next to me. I could feel the air brushing against like my face. Why are some drivers like that? So that's something you have to keep in mind if you're gonna get into e-skating, is that the fact that you probably won't get a lot of respect from cars. They'll probably treat you lower than like even a bicyclist. There's not really many bad experiences I've had with this thing. Other than like decoration, I already showed. I went to UC Davis for like a field trip. So I got a couple stickers, and a couple of my buddies gave me some stickers. So I decked this thing out. I've seen it a lot. It's a really cool thing to do. So I thought I'd put stickers on my board too. I haven't really displayed it that much. This thing is a flexi deck, so if I like put my knee against it, I can bend the board a little bit. Oh, I just scraped it on the floor. And then it's got the dual motors, which I mentioned earlier. These bad boys right here, these things. So if it's off. If I give this thing a throttle, beautiful. And it's so much faster than hub motor boards, but they're just louder if you want to make noise. That's not my thing, or I mean, it is kind of, at least with e-skates. So maybe I'll talk about it more in depth some other time, but I just want to talk about my experiences with e-skating. I've only had one bad experience, and then you really should gear up for crashes, because you never know when they can happen, really. God, it's so freaking hot out here. I should probably end this soon. So yeah, those are just my experiences. If like you want to support me, at least because I don't see a lot of creators out there who are younger than 20 who talk about e-skating, you subscribe to me? I don't know, that'd be awesome. I'd love to be like those people up there with their like skateboard reviews and like going places and seeing all that stuff. That's my dream as 15, especially because I really want to see my community use these things more, so I have like a group around me to do rides with. Please consider like subscribing. That would help me out a ton. And you can like if you want, but it'd really help me out a ton, like reach my little dream that I have. And yeah, that's kind of it. Hopefully, there's a truck. Hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you around. Later, guys.